Hey, Kristy, welcome to eXp Chats. Great to have you on the call.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No, my pleasure. So, talk to us, Kristy. You're in Brisbane, real estate agent down that way?
Yep, in Brisbane, working mainly around the Yeronga area, so in the southern suburbs.
Lovely, nice part of the world.
Lovely. Yeah, nice and leafy, leafy suburbs with a real mix.
Real
Yeah,
mix. And you've got your own
yeah.
company set up, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how long ago did you join eXp as your
Um, I joined eXp at the same time that I set the company up. I used
right?
to be with McGrath, so I was with Place for 5 years, or probably 8 years in total, and then McGrath for five.
Wow.
Um, and then COVID hit, and I had to lay my PA off. And at that point, I'd been speaking to a different company that works along the same lines as eXp, and that was called UrbanX. And
Yeah.
and I've been chatting to them, and they basically I liked the idea of doing something completely different. I'd been starting to get a little bit itchy feet at McGrath and wanting to sort of do my own thing. I didn't like the way some things were being run, and the fact that you had to sort of you couldn't. There was no thinking out the box or
Right.
having your own opinion on certain things. It had to be done a certain way, which is the same with any agency.
Mm.
Um, I guess so. I quite like the idea of doing things my way, but I just didn't want to do everything. Because I'm the sort of person that a bit like a squirrel, I get distracted. Take
Right.
too long doing this and too long doing that, and so the idea of having someone there, a company or group of people there that were doing certain things for me, contracts, compliance, trust accounting, all that sort of thing,
Yep.
was a really nice idea. So
Mm.
I got my head around that. I wanted it under a name that I wanted to choose,
Yep.
and and then I spoke to Glenn and told Glenn Twiddle what my plans were because they'd been telling me to go off on my own for a while. And
Right.
Glenn said, actually, there's this company called eXp that he just started working with, and
Yep.
it was right at the beginning. So I
Right.
literally everything he told me about eXp and how it worked and how it ran sounded fantastic. And I'd known and worked with Glenn before, and decided to open my own business under my name, working with in conjunction with eXp.
So you're a fully licensed agent with
Yes.
McGrath?
No, I wasn't. Not with McGrath. I didn't have my own license. Uh, I wasn't a contractor or anything like that. I was just a lead agent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you went out and got your full license,
Yeah.
set up your own company,
Yeah. So I did
and
it during COVID. Yeah, when it was quiet.
okay. How did you find that process? Was it fairly daunting? Like, were you concerned about the
Uh,
unknown?
no, not at all. I woke up, well, I didn't wake up. I was driving one day 6 months later and it hit me what I'd done. And I thought, oh my God, I've started my own business. How did that happen? But at the time, it wasn't that quiet. And where we were working in Brisbane with regards to COVID, it went quiet for a couple of weeks. But that couple of
Yep.
weeks, I got my head in gear and went, okay, let's do this. And I just started designing everything and organizing everything and getting licenses and doing what I needed to do. And then as the market started picking up again pretty quickly, which I think it did everywhere, I guess I was on the back foot there when every other agent was selling loads of properties. I was still setting the business up. So that was okay, but it would have been nice to be in the swing of things by then.
Right.
But
Yeah, of
that
course.
was okay. No, it wasn't daunting. It was very easy, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 months later, you just thought, wow, I've done it all.
Done it all, yeah. Because there's steps to follow and there's people to talk to for
Yeah.
advice and what you need to do. And I guess it depends whether you want to be an eXp agent, in which case you just do everything as you normally would. You're working for eXp as an agent, or if you're setting your own business up, they will tell you what they will do for you, and then you just need to go out and do the rest. And there's just a checklist of things that you need to get insurances and etc. ABNs and all those that sorts of things. Which you follow the checklist, you get everything done, and start advertising. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. What would you say to
Yeah.
someone? Because I think there's probably a lot of people out there that are in that boat of maybe, like yourself, have been working for a company for many years and,
Mm.
always thought about doing their own thing, but just, I guess, find it a bit daunting to go forward with it.
Yeah. I think I did always think it was daunting. So I was one of those people. And I was never going to go out on my own. I always was adamant. No, 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 because I'm an agent that likes to list and sell, and that's it. I don't want to get bogged down in paperwork. I'm a little bit slow at that sort of thing. I do take my time, and it's not what I'm best at. So the fact that I had to go and open my own business, or the thought of opening my own business and hiring staff and payroll and issues with sick and all these things that I'd seen from over the years with what real estate businesses were like, it just looked like a massive hassle, and I didn't have time or brain space to be able to think about doing that. So it was always a no, not going to do that. So it was only when this option came to me that it just made everything sound very, very easy, because you can just be the agent that you used to be and list and sell. There's obviously a few more things that you need to do, but you've got the main things. Compliance is a massive thing, because you're not having to worry about that. If there's something missed, the guys at eXp will pick it up. You trust accounts, and you don't need to worry about that. You're always going to get your deposits, because they're going to get chased up if you haven't. You're always going to get your marketing, because it won't go online if you haven't. And so there's things like that you don't even have to worry about. You don't have to hire staff. You can continue just as an agent, but you're just on much higher commission rate. And you can, like I say, advertise your own business, or you can be an eXp agent. So there's a lot of options with eXp, which made it just very easy.
Yeah. What have you found? I mean, what was the biggest attraction for you to eXp?
I think there were a few attractions. One of them was the fact that I could open my own business and have it under my name, or the company name that I wanted to choose. But I had support behind me, because I think a lot of people, if there were, especially a one-man band, if you're thinking that you can't run ideas by people, or there's no one there if you need to know what the latest rule or the latest law, or you feel like you're not getting the training. Because at McGrath I used to get a lot of training with whether it be online training, places to go and train, just to upgrade your skills all the time and that sort of thing. And I think feeling like you might be all on your own and no one there, eXp offer everything. So they offer training, they offer support. There's a massive team of people throughout, Australia, America, and quite a few other countries as well now. So it's huge. It's a lot bigger now than when I started. And there's a big group of people, and everyone is amazing. So that was big. That was a big draw card. And another thing was just being able to work from wherever you want. I used to hate going into those meetings, staff meetings that were pointless. You didn't really get anything out of them. Sometimes there'd be no point in being there, and yet you'd have to get there when all you needed to do was be wherever, whether it be at home or in a cafe or whatever, working or on the phone or doing deals, whatever. You didn't need to go to those meetings. So not being accountable, I suppose, and having to go into the office was a big thing. Doing my own thing, freedom. And for me, a big thing was creative choices as well, doing things and advertising the way I wanted to advertise, and being able to sell wherever I wanted to sell without that principle going, you can't sell there, or you can't market their house because I know that person and that's my contact, or this is my area, you can't go and advertise in this area. So it was just a whole freedom thing, I think.
Yeah. And I guess every company offers, does their own sort of processes, but there's those restrictions in place when you work for companies like that.
Lots of restrictions,
which I certainly found, and it varied from office to office, but certainly there was always restrictions that sort of just didn't give you that full freedom, which sounds like you got by working with eXp.
Yeah, and distractions as well. There was always distractions, whether the office people are chatting about what that agent's done or what they're doing, and I like to be focused. And
good point.
So I was always the one that closed the door and kind of looked like probably being a bit rude and just doing my own thing, but I wasn't interested in that. So I don't have to do that now.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. The cat's the only thing that disturbs me now when I'm at home.
Yeah, it's good. And you're more productive, aren't you? Because you don't have those distractions. I mean, a couple of really good points there. The resources, I think, I've talked to a few agents more recently, and there's that attraction of going into an office because you feel like you're going to get more support. But in reality, eXp offers way more support and many more resources available for an agent. And you don't have to go into an office to attend boring meetings to have that opportunity. You can do it from your own couch if you wanted to, and have all the trainings in the world.
That's right. There's a lot more resources that especially if you're a new agent, that you can access. You know, there's eXp World where you can go and you can, you know, create your own little avatar, and you can literally go into meetings and you can go in and you can sit and have chats and learn that way. That's not something I do, but that's what some people like to do. But there's also emails and phone calls and the old standard, you know, messages and apps, and there's lots of different ways of communicating with the team, depending on how you as a person want to work.
100%. Like it.
Yeah.
Interesting conversation, and you haven't really touched on any of the monetary side of things at all.
No.
which is pretty important, because I mean the monetary side of the business is huge, but for you it was the resources and the freedom and running your own show.
Yeah,
paramount.
I think I'd say, look, money was important. Money was never a thing for me. Like commission was never, I didn't even know how much commission I had coming in at the end of the month, or when, you know, or how much commission I was getting for a property, or I couldn't even remember how much I'd charged a person, you know. So it was never about the money. It was always about the service I was giving to the client, and making sure I sold it for the best price, so I could then get another listing. And that just turns out, you know, that your money turns out to be there at the end of the day. So money was never a big thing. But of course, once I heard about the cut that eXp give, of course, it's a massive draw card. I mean, if I was going to be on the same commission, would I have looked at it as much? Probably, but I don't know. It would have been something I would have had to think about a lot more, I guess, because you're taking on more responsibility. I don't feel like I've taken on heaps, but of course, you know, doing my own, even though not trust accounting, but doing my own accounting and things like that, and just doing a few more things, like you have to do your own marketing and that sort of thing. If you're your own company like me, if you're eXp, you don't. But money, it was just a massive bonus that, you know, the cut that you get for selling a house, and you didn't have to, I can't remember what the cut was originally, 30%, I think it was. Yeah. And now it's gone down to 20, is it 25? You tell me. Yeah, see, I don't even know. Honestly, 25. So, I mean, that's amazing. So after your first $100,000 that you bring into the company, everything after that, after the first 100,000, yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, everything after that is 100%. See, I'm not even focused on money, right? But everything after that, you get as an agent 100% of your earnings, which is absolutely amazing, which means that all that freedom is even more apparent, because I'm not as focused on, I need to sell this many houses to earn this amount of money to give me the lifestyle I want. It's more about I can have that lifestyle I want, and I can sell half the amount of houses, or maybe even less than that. And so the freedom and the being able to be at home with the kids at night and have dinner, and not be out there constantly chasing work and working with referrals, and just having a good amount of properties coming in. And of course, that's my way of thinking. That's not everyone's way of thinking. I've just reached a point in my life where I'm not all about KPIs, which I used to be, and being number one agent and doing all those things. It's more about a lifestyle, and it's more about just being able to live how I want to live. And now, because of eXp, couldn't have done it before, I can take on whatever properties I want to take on without, you know, I can turn down properties, should I say, if I don't want to take them on, because I know that whatever I'm locking in and selling, I'm going to be still earning way more than what I was earning when I was at an agency.
Yeah, perfect. That freedom piece is a big part of it, and a lot of the agents in eXp that I've spoken with and connected with, and we've got a few now in Australia, that freedom piece is a big part of it, you know, to have that lifestyle balance. And some are more ambitious and want to go over bigger targets, and some are more humble and just want that lifestyle aspect, but still earn a good living. So really important.
I wish I knew about you. I wish I'd known about eXp a long time ago, because although I don't think it had reached Australia, because then when I did have that drive, like more drive to be number one and hit all these KPIs and sell however many houses a year, I would have been a fortune. You know, but I suppose it came at the right time where.
But that's the thing, eXp does offer everyone that different opportunity, but it's all round up in that overall feeling of freedom. So if an agent came to you, and final question, and they said, look, what's the top 3 reasons why you think I should join eXp? What would you say?
Money, freedom. Third reason, support.
Support. Good. Nice answers. Fantastic. Kristy Noble from Noble Properties in Brisbane. Thanks for coming on eXp Chats today.
No worries. Thanks very much, Leigh. Appreciate your time, and thanks for having me on.
You too, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and reach out to Kristy. You can find her online. if you have any other further questions for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.